skills and knowledge that they have acquired. In short, you tend to produce less defects of products. Then number two is the quality of products. That the quality of products for the more educated are better compared to those with less education, because of course of the greater skills that you have acquired. Then we have the product mix, that educated workers tend to produce goods and services which are more or are highly prized but they are highly valued in the society. You can just take an example. If you have a child that you want to invite maybe somebody to come and tutor. Like right now we are in the long vacation, for especially for you for the teachers, because you have the whole of this session from since October, November up to December. So if you are a parent and you have a child at home, you find that due to that long vacation, you realize that our watoto kupotea ni haraka. So it is at this time many teachers will want to hire tutors, at least to keep their children busy. Now, if you are a parent, you have two people who are coming to tutor your child. One is a secondary school leaver, ati alikuwa amepata labda C plane, lakini ako na some elements za subject moja pale, maybe Kiswahili alikuwa na B plane. And you have a graduate teacher with the competencies in teaching Kiswahili plus an extra subject. Then you will ask yourself as a parent, whom will you want to employ? Definitely you will want to employ that graduate because you value that education. Then the other thing is participation in the labor force. We normally say that educated people are less prone to seeking, or they're less susceptible to lost time due to things to deal with unemployment and illness, and are usually characterized by higher aspiration. You have high aspirations because of your education, so you always want to do your work the right way. At the same time, by the time you graduate, you have a wide opening of jobs, and therefore you are less prone to unemployment than that less educated person, and therefore you will definitely be productive outside there. We have also allocative ability. Allocative ability here is education enables workers to assess their own talents, to achieve greater skills, and more receptive to new technologies, new products, and new ideas. When I was being trained as a teacher, nobody trained me on how to use online platforms so that I can teach students. But because of the education that I've acquired, I'm able to assess my own strengths and weaknesses and be able to venture into even areas that are not what I was trained. That is what we mean by allocative ability. And I've seen this especially with our teachers. You went for teaching practice, and I went there and I found that for this cohort, apart from zile cohort za kitambo, hizi cohort za sahi ndio wanasoma PE. But most of you, including you never did PE as a subject. But I normally go there and I find many students there, many of our student teachers, they are actually coaching various events, and the principal is very confident. Mpaka anakuambia, I think you mwalimu, me, if I get a chance, I can even employ you, because as somebody who is responsible enough, I can even send him with a team of students to go and coach. So this is an allocative ability, because you're not trained as a PE teacher, but because you can assess your strength, you can be able to go and do that. You don't shy off. Then lastly is the job satisfaction, which I've mentioned earlier, that educated people tend to have higher job satisfaction because they tend to acquire jobs with greater psychic reward. Okay? So those are what we call how education can increase workers' productivity. Then to conclude the session, we also need to look at the indirect contribution of education to development, and this indirect contribution of education to development, we call them education has a special aspect in social aspects of life of people which cannot be measured using the economic tools of analysis which we mentioned earlier. So these benefits are sometimes what we call the externalities, the spillover effects, the neighborhood effects, and they include things to deal with the reduction in the needs for other services like security. We don't expect for somebody who is educated to be caught in some very petty crimes. So we will reduce the cost of recruiting police to come and keep on policing you